many different ways. I mean, you initially just talked about, like, in terms of what you said, understanding who you are, trying to get.
Hey, welcome to Social Work Sunday Tea. I am Shakia Houston. It's a great day to be alive and well. It is January 15th, 2023, our first podcast of the year. So this is a great time, great place, great space, newness, new year, all of the above. So make sure you like, subscribe, and if you're doing the replay, listen, make sure you share. We have a lot of information here that is very important, and we're gonna jump start it, and we're gonna go from there, and all that good stuff. We have a special guest, Miss April. If you'd like to introduce yourself, it'd be greatly appreciated. And there you go. Miss April.
All right. So thank you, Shakia, for having me. I'm definitely excited to be here and speak with everybody today. So we are on Sunday Social Work Tea, and I definitely have some tea that we're gonna get into today about life insurance and the importance of having life insurance. So again, my name is April Hamilton, and I am a licensed life insurance agent as well as a licensed investment agent as well. So like Shakia said, I'm going to be giving y'all some great information. Like, share, tag a friend, tell them to join in, your family, all of that, because we want everybody to get this great information today.
Absolutely. Yes. So if you would like to leave a comment and things like that, ask questions, it's greatly appreciated as well. So we're gonna get to the nitty-gritty of it, right? What is life insurance? Because a lot of people, we say all about life insurance. Everybody get the older generation, they know about it, something like that. But just to inform people what's life insurance.
Absolutely. So definitely, just to get started, like Shakia said, you might have heard of life insurance before. Lots of people do talk about it. But what life insurance is, it is definitely exactly like it says. It is insurance for your life. So on your life, your flesh, you're putting a insurance policy in place that pretty much says if something happens, and your life is ended, meaning that you die, then this policy is going to be paid out to whomever you name as a beneficiary on your policy, who could be your loved ones, family, whomever you like, your business, anyone who you name. In the event that you die, pass away, then that life insurance policy is going to pay out what is called a death benefit. So that's the just standard definition of life insurance. Okay. Now, did you want me to go ahead, Shakia, and let them get into it and just tell them, just some reasons I like to start out with? You might be thinking, okay, well, it's a death benefit if I die. And, you probably like me too. I'm like you guys as well. Nobody wants to think about dying or death. We want to all have longevity. We want to live forever as long as we can, right? So that absolutely is the goal and the plan, for myself as well as I know plenty of others. But however, that is not promised for everyone. So, we could all pass away, at a moment's notice, with no notice, really, it's not going to be a notification saying, hey, get ready, you've got another day or another 30 days in most cases.
Right.
We don't know that day or that time. So
Yeah.
the insurance policy is put into place because of that very reason. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it is inevitable. We all will have a day where we are not going to be here anymore. So it is something that you put in place now to protect in the future. So it's nothing that we look forward to, putting a life insurance policy, and like nobody ever says, man, I can't wait to use that life insurance, right? So
Nobody.
we're all exactly. So it's nothing that, anybody really wants to use, because of course that means in order for that policy to pay out or go into effect, we will have to pass away. But it is something that we put in place, to protect in the future when that day and that time comes. So a lot of people say, well, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm not dying anytime soon. So, I don't think it's important for me to have life insurance. But that just simply is not true. There are benefits and reasons why you should really actually focus on getting life insurance while you are young and healthy. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of those key reasons for getting your life insurance while you're young and you're in great health is because your life insurance policy, it's always going to be based upon some key factors as far as, what you're actually going to pay to get this coverage in place on yourself. Age is the number one factor for you getting your life insurance. So the older we get, and we all get older every day. So today is as young as we're going to be. Okay. So every day we get older, and definitely every year that goes by, we turn, we celebrate those birthdays. We get another year older. While you're celebrating your birthday, the life insurance policies, they're calculating your new premium because you're a year older. So when you're young, your premiums are going to be substantially low, and you can actually get a great amount of coverage. So you may not think that you need a lot of coverage, because you are young. But, in the case of me and what I do for my clients is I get them protected up to 35 years with their life insurance. So, you might be 20, 25, 30 years old now, and you say, hey, I'm young. You may even be single with no children. You say, I don't really see the benefit of me having this. I don't have anybody to depend on me, or, I don't take care of anyone but me. However, that situation could definitely change over the next 35 years. So if you lock in a rate right now while you are very young, and I'm talking about really low rates, if you are someone who's young, like between the ages of 20 and 30 years old, you can get life insurance for 20, 30 bucks a month. Okay. So this is money that we spend on random stuff, who knows, all the time, going out to eat, shopping, partying, whatever your forte is. We can all blow 20 or 30 bucks pretty quickly. I'm sure you would agree, right?
Yes, we do.
So, all the time, right? That $20, it spends like $1 these days, right? For most people, it's like 20 bucks is nothing, right? So keep that same mentality when it comes to, getting some life insurance in place. $20 is nothing to make sure that you are getting some protection on your life and your flesh. But another factor outside of age is going to be health. So if you're young, more than likely you are pretty healthy. You don't have any major health issues or, diseases and illnesses. But again, those things could change any day. So, our health is another thing that is not promised, and we don't know what would happen to you, health wise in the future. So there are some things that could actually prevent you from getting life insurance, if you ever came across these health issues. So while you have no issues, it's best to go ahead and lock it in, because that way you're protected. If you did get a disease or illness in the future and you already have life insurance, it would not matter. You will be able to keep your coverage. Nothing would change there, as opposed to, waiting later and wait until after you get maybe a critical terminal diagnosis, and then you start thinking about, okay, maybe this illness could take me out of here, and that's when people start thinking about, man, I need life insurance. But at that point, it really is too late. So that's another key reason to get it while you're young, healthy. It's going to be very affordable. You can get higher rates of coverage for a little bit of money. Okay. Another key thing that's going to determine what you're actually paying is just how much coverage do you want. So a good statistic here, and a lot of people might not know, because again, people know about life insurance, and most people think that it's just put in place so that you can have your funeral, right? So right. Okay. Right. So people that have life insurance often choose to get minimal coverage. So it literally would cover maybe just your funeral. There's a statistic, it says 80% of the death claims paid out by life insurance companies to African American families specifically are less than $10,000. Wow. So yes, that's definitely not enough money. Even in today's time, that may not even be enough money to actually cover everything that comes, with a funeral. Your family might want to honor you in a really big way. $10,000 might not take care of it. Okay.
No, not at all. They want the horse, the carriage,
right,
flower. They got your name on it, and it's a big bouquet. It's like
all of those cost money. Okay.
And that's what, like I was telling you before, they have like the funeral Wallace Bravie Wallace funeral home. Rory was talking about how sometimes people, they don't have enough money, so now they got to do a GoFundMe, or if they don't have enough for the burial, things like that. It'll cost. It's like it costs to die.
It does.
It costs to die, and people don't really know the magnitude and understand how important it is, because it's a lot, especially
a lot.
African Americans. We're extra, but we're fashionable.
Yes. Your family is not going to want to just, put you in the wooden box and say farewell.
Exactly.
We got to do right by our people, right? So they're going to want you to have, the nicest casket they can find, a beautiful ceremony. They want somebody singing at your funeral, all of these kind of things, These things are going to cost money. We probably already all saw recently, that artist that was under Gucci Mane as well, right?
Yeah.
And his family was saying, well, his funeral cost like $60,000. Now, some people were like, how does a funeral cost that much money? But, there's always, levels to everything, right? So you can have like a basic funeral, where you got like that basic casket, and they just, have a quick little service, 10 minutes. You get maybe one song, one prayer, and then you get out of there, right? But like you said, we're extra. So our families want to do it big, especially in your memory. These are people that love you. So they're putting their final goodbyes, if you were ever to pass away. They want to be able to do it properly, right? And what's going to be good, make them feel better with parting with you. There's already a time of grief and loss. So, it's just not a good situation to have to worry about, am I'm going to be able to make sure that my family can take care of me when I'm gone, because yes, you'll be gone. You won't personally have to worry about that. Right. But, you don't want to leave that kind of stress for your family and your loved ones, in that situation. So, basically, these are, the things and the factors that count into getting life insurance. But even if you're not young, that's not a reason to say, well, it's going to be, too expensive. So I'm past 20 or 30, it might cost me too much money, so I'm not going to do it. Right. That's not an excuse. Okay. You get it customized. And what I definitely do for my clients is I make sure that, we talk budget. Because it is going to be something that, it's going to be, a recurring thing that you're going to be paying for years to come. So I make sure that I actually, ask questions about, their affordability and, what is going to work within their budget, and make sure that it's not going to be an exorbitant amount that they're going to be asked to pay on a premium that they might not be able to keep up later. So that's definitely a big part of it. Making sure that you're getting a policy that you definitely are comfortable paying, you can afford, and you can keep that up as well.
Yeah. So I know, I just a side note, how we're young, right? We're young and we're like, oh, we don't, not really, not saying that we don't plan to die, but at the same time, we really don't. We're just living in the moment. And sometimes we don't take care of business how we should, like writing wills.
Right.
Right. Unfortunately, right. And then if they don't have insurance policy, then we go with the GoFundMe. And a lot of people, they feel some type of way with the GoFundMe. It's like, okay, you wouldn't take care of your business, when you were alive. Like, it's unfortunate. And if you, like, what were you doing, right? What were you doing while you're living? So I know I got this video clip where what is this man's name? Is it MBNP something?
Oh, PNG, I think is
PNG, right. So he didn't have anything.
I saw that.
Rapper. He didn't have any type of will. And I got a video clip of his girlfriend. So I'm gonna put that on, like, everybody so they can see it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
He did not have life insurance. No, he did not have a will. No, we didn't have nothing set up. We're so young. We don't plan on death. Like, so I don't get no death benefits. I don't get nothing. Like, I don't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not gonna ask nobody for nothing. I got that personality and I'm working on that. I'm trying to, empty myself of my ego and my pride, because I'm not asking nobody for nothing. Like, I don't care. I could be on fire and I'm not even gonna ask you to spit on me. I don't need nothing from y'all. But nah, I'm trying to stop being like that. But God, he's been making a way. He's been making a way, child. He's been making a way. He's been making a way. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for y'all.
Wow.
So
yeah,
famous rapper. He got killed in the Chicago chicken. Well, not Chicago, Lord. Roscoe Chicken and Waffles,
right?
There's another going on in Chicago, but Roscoe Chicken and Waffles, where he was shot there, and then she did a whole live saying that he didn't have any death benefits.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
No will, no nothing.
Yeah,
and for her to say we young, it's just like, ooh, yeah.
But that's the mentality, of people and of young people, and that's just really because they haven't been educated about, enough, even being young. These are still things that should be a priority, and that's just really a miseducation. I'm pretty sure she'll have or has probably, the GoFundMe out trying to raise funds. Well, she said she wasn't asking anybody for anything, right?
Right.
Most people, when they come across that, they do go to the GoFundMe, right? Because they don't know where else they can get money, so they need help. But a lot of people also don't realize, GoFundMe, of course, it's not life insurance, but GoFundMe is not really just doing us a favor out here either. They're getting about 8% of all those donations that come in. A lot of people don't realize that as well. So, you raise a lot of money, for this funeral for your loved one, but GoFundMe gets 8% of that. That's still, they're going to get their cut. Nobody's giving for free, but again, that's, what people depend on. And then when you're out asking people, yes, they are going to be looking like, well, did you just post that picture with that, new Gucci bag before she died 2 weeks ago? Right. She got life insurance, right? So it really is, it's an embarrassment to your loved ones when you die and your affairs are not in order. Okay. And now they've got to do GoFundMe. We see all other kind of stuff. They're selling fish plates, right? They're asking the church and loved ones for money, and you just really don't want to have your family in that position ever. There's a little life tip or hint right here that I'm going to share with you guys. It says time is one thing that we are not guaranteed.
Yes.
But we need time to build up our retirement fund, save for your kids to go to college, pay for your mortgage, pay that house off, ensure that you have a roof over your family's head, feed them, provide for them, and much more. But what if you lose time and you're not able to finish those goals that you set up?
Yeah.
That's where life insurance comes into place. We might run out of time. We all have, I'm pretty sure, big goals and dreams as far as establishing wealth and, getting to a point financially. But that life insurance is set in place because something could happen in between the time from now, the time that you start working on those goals, and by the time that you reach those goals. So if anything happens untimely, that's where your life insurance comes into place. So, really just talking about the importance of having it. Again, we all have goals and dreams, or you should, but I'm pretty sure most people have, goals and dreams and things they want to attain and reach a certain level in their lifetime. But what I also teach my clients is that, especially when you're talking about your financial goals, if you have goals financially to one day where you don't want to, be living paycheck to paycheck or worried about money, then you have to properly build your financial house. And your financial house, it's like building any other house. Okay. If you were building a house, Shakia, are you going to be able to start building your house with a roof, or do you need a foundation?
You definitely need a foundation.
You need a foundation, right? Same thing comes when you're talking about building your financial house. Life insurance is on the foundation of building your financial house. So at the bottom, when we start thinking about how we're going to reach these financial goals, that's one of the key things. You must have life insurance in place. You got to also have stuff like an emergency fund, savings, and a cash flow plan, a way that you're going to be making that money. That's the foundation. So, you can't go straight to the top without starting at the bottom. And the life insurance is a key part of building your financial house. After that, so you got your life insurance, you got your emergency fund, your will is actually a part of that foundation as well. And then the next step, you're going to have your debt elimination plan. Because again, if we're talking about financially, getting financially stable, we don't want to have a lot of debt out there. So, have a plan to be getting out of debt. And then after you get out of debt, now we're going to be focusing on, saving money so that we can retire one day. We don't want to have to work all of our lives. That's another big thing that's going on in the world today. People are not able to retire. They have to keep working until they're 70, 80 years old, right? I saw, you probably saw it online recently that gentleman, I think he's like 80 or over 80 years old, is working at Walmart.
Yeah.
They actually did a GoFundMe for him. So he can retire. It's a sad story, but these are all the steps in getting that financial house in order. After you start working on your retirement plan and savings, you want to start saving for, your children to go to college and stuff like that. And then we can start working on those goals and those dreams that we have. Yeah. But again, life insurance, that's just like the bare minimum, the bottom, you've got to start there. So it's very important. Okay.
Yeah, so we got a comment.
Okay.
So big problem in our community is when we miss payment or let life insurance lapse, and we think at a young age we don't need it. Then sometimes something happened and we run to GoFundMe, but that don't work now because so many people have abused GoFundMe. And I want to ask you about that. What are your thoughts like as far as, thank you, Antonio, your thoughts about the GoFundMe? I know that, but Antonio is right when it comes to that because, like, oh, like, why y'all ain't, got this? Like we said before, like, oh, why you don't have it? So like, because it feels like you are abusing, like, okay, you don't have your affairs in order. So like, what are we doing?
Right.
Your views about GoFundMe.
Yeah, so my views on GoFundMe is like Antonio also stated. Some people might actually be thinking like, well, I could just do a GoFundMe and it's gonna come up with the money. But you might run a GoFundMe and you might find out that maybe in your network specifically, you don't have a lot of people who are able and willing to donate the kind of money that you need to raise, you know. And when we're talking about, especially for a funeral, there's a short amount of time that we have to often raise a lot of money. And if you think about just the people in your family, your friend circle right now, you know, if you needed to come up with $10,000-$20,000 within the next 7 days, you know, are these people that you surrounded yourself with who are able to, you know, throw in $1,000, $500 towards your cause? That might not be a possibility. And he also mentioned something about, you know, getting life insurance young and then letting your policy lapse. Yes, people do let their policies lapse, but, you know, you can always get back on track from that. You can get a lapsed policy reinstated is what we call it. So don't let that stop you. You know, just because you had a policy at one point and you stopped paying the payments, you know, get back with your company or your agent who got you that policy. It can always be reinstated. I know specifically in my company and my clients, if that does happen where their policy lapses, you know, we always reach out to them and try to help them get those policies back in place. You know, we even are able to help them get their policy back in place now, and they don't have to pay now in order for their policy to get reinstated. You know, they would be able to reinstate today and then not pay for another month. So they have some time to, you know, plan and save again so they can get back on track. But a lapsed policy is not a reason to just keep it lapsed. You know, you can always get it reinstated or get a new policy, you know, with someone else. And again, GoFundMe, you're not guaranteed anything on there. So, you know, you could raise some money, but what if you only raised half of the money? Yeah. Where is the rest of the money going to come from? Right. So those are my thoughts on the GoFundMe.
Yeah. And I mean, majority, because I can speak because I am Black, and we go to GoFundMe like it's like there's no tomorrow. Or, you know, they would you know, tell them to send the money to the funeral home, and that's fine too, because it'll go directly to whatever the cause, and it kind of like 8%. You don't have to. You don't have to. Yeah. Right. Exactly. And it just goes straight to the funeral home. But we got a plan. And society now, the way the world is set up and how it's going, it's like we need that, because we just never know. Never, ever know. And so, that's why I wanted to have this discussion, this conversation, because it's a reality. You know, everybody got to lead here. But however, we don't want to put our loved ones, like you said, we don't want to put our loved ones in a predicament where, you know, we can't pay for certain things and do certain things, and left us, leaving them struggling, you know, especially our children, you know. And also they need some money. They need some money after the funeral.
Right. That's the most important as well. So like I said earlier, a lot of people, they hear life insurance and, you know, they do think about, okay, well, that's going to be, you know, so they can bury me or pay for my funeral. And then we do see a lot of people, if they have it, they have a minimal amount. But just like you said, what happens after that funeral, right? Especially if you're a parent and you have young children, okay? It really, you can't say that you care about those kids if you don't have life insurance on yourself, because we never know the day and the time. It's always a blessing to return home, but every day, many people don't get back home to their families. So, you know, every day you leave your house, you're at risk of not returning. And in the event that that happened, you have to have something in place to where, you know, your kids are going to be taken care of. Because me, myself, I have 4 young kids. So, you know, God forbid something happened to me. I know I have family that, you know, would step in and, you know, they would help to take care of my kids. But again, also thinking about, even if you have a family member who's willing to take care of your kids if you passed away, is that family member rich? You know, kids are not free to take care of.
They are not.
They're expensive, right? So why would you want to burden someone who would potentially be, you know, doing the best thing ever for your kids, you know, taking them in if you pass and providing for them, but you're going to go ahead and cause a financial burden or stress on that person? You know, I've got 4 kids. If something happened to me, do you know how much of a financial responsibility that is for, you know, let's say my sister or mom, if they wanted to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to take care of the kids, we got them. but
Yeah.
that's 4 kids that they've got to take care of. I've
Yeah.
got to leave them something in order to be successful in that, right? Or we're just setting the kids up for struggle. So after the funeral, we've got to be able to provide or pretty much replace that income that you were bringing in. So
Yeah.
life insurance also can be thought about as an income replacement. Okay. You need to have at least 6 to 10 times of whatever you make in life insurance. So
Okay.
that means that your family is going to be good for some years to come. As far as if you pass away, they're going to get 6 to 10 times of your income that you're bringing in. So it's an income replacement, because if you're the money machine, your family, you work, you provide, you pay the bills. If you die today, those bills are not going to stop coming. So
Right.
you've got to be able to replace your income. And that's another thing, a tool that life insurance is used for. You can also use that death benefit, which is going to be paid out in cash. Okay. So there's no, small amounts here and here. They're going to get a lump sum of cash, and it's going to be paid out to your family. And another thing, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to leave behind a lot of money because, I feel like they're going to blow through it. But that's, again, if you're a parent, is your job while you're living, to actually be now teaching your kids about financial education and literacy, to make sure that they're prepared if something happened to you, so they know what to do with the money. You can also leave instructions for your family, hey, I'm leaving you guys 300,000 in coverage, but if I died, I want you to take, 150,000 and pay this house off. I want you to put this amount, in a savings or a trust. And you can also use your will to dictate stuff like that as well. So if you have a huge benefit on your life insurance and you're worried about, people not doing the right thing, if you were to pass away, you can use your will to dictate stuff like that. Hey, maybe I will give them access to half of this money now, and they'll have to wait another certain amount of time before they get the rest of it, right? So you can actually set that whole plan up before you leave. So again, that's not a reason to not get it just because you feel like they're not going to do what you would like them to do with it when you're gone. You can still go ahead and leave them that tool and make sure that they're educated about how to actually use those funds later. So that's another reason that I get, and hear people say, I'm not interested in leaving them a lot of money, because they just gonna blow through it, right? No, you could teach them, and before you leave here, that's a part of your job, your assignment. You want to teach them the literacy and the education to know, hey, if something happens to my mom or my dad, they've given me specific directions. They told me what's coming and what to do with it, right? So that's another part. It's all about education, really.
Yeah, it is. And you ain't gonna be here to know if they blow it or not anyway.
Exactly.
Right? Right? What are we doing?
Look, they're gonna be rolling over in their graves, as they say, right? Like they done blew all my money. They rolling in there.
Blew it all up. I done paid all this time, but no, we got it right. So we got a question. Can you explain the difference between whole life insurance and accident insurance? Because some life insurance companies offer both.
Yes, absolutely. So definitely I can explain the difference of that. And then I'll just start by saying there are many different types of life insurance out there. And most of the people, and I keep it simple for my clients, and I'll do the same thing for you guys. I'll let you know there's a lot of types of insurance, but when it comes down to it, there is only 2 types. There's a good type and there's a bad type of life insurance, believe it or not. So, the difference between whole life, which is one of the most popular, and then the other type is term life. So I'll tell you guys about the difference between those 2 insurance policies. A whole life policy is what they also call like a permanent life insurance. So you can literally have this policy for your whole life. And that's why they call it that, right? But these are some key things that I teach about it. And I actually educate my clients and let them know that whole life insurance is the bad type of life insurance. Key reasons why: because one, whole life insurance is more expensive for the client to get. Now, when you get whole life insurance, they're going to say, let's say, Shakia, you wanted whole life, right? So you would sit down with an agent. They say, Shakia, we're going to give you maybe $100,000 in whole life insurance. And they say, well, Shakia, your premium, what you're going to pay every month is $200 for your whole life policy. So what they really are going to do with your payment every month is they're splitting that payment up. So half is going to go towards the life insurance, that $100,000 benefit. Now your other $100 on a whole life policy is put into a separate account, which is called a savings account. So the thing and what is advertised about having whole life is that it has something called cash value. So you guys might have heard of that before. That cash value is when you hear people talking about, hey, you can borrow money from your life insurance policy. So that's what they're referring to is your cash value. Okay. But what is very misconstrued is that when they say that you can borrow money from life insurance, Shakia, you're not going to be able to go in, get that $100,000 whole life policy and borrow money from that. You're not borrowing from the life insurance. You're borrowing from this cash value. That's the savings account that's built into that policy in which you have put money in there to save. So again, they split the payment up. Half goes towards insurance, half goes into savings. However, this goes wrong because number one thing is that when you open that account, you start that policy from day one, you're going to be paying, let's say that $200. However, Shakia, they're going to tell you that for your first 2 to 5 years of having your home, that your cash value, that is not going to accumulate anything at all. So your savings account for 2 to 5 years is going to say $0. Wow. Yeah. Can you imagine if you put $100 every month in your savings account at your bank and then did it for 2 years? And
April. I don't know what happened. Yes, I don't know what happened. It froze up. Let me see. Sorry, everybody. It froze up. April, I don't know if you can hear me. April, let me see. I don't know what happened. She probably have to log back off. Sorry about that, everybody. Let me remove. Okay, let me see. Log back in. Hey, technical difficulties, right? It happens. Life is a must because funerals are expensive, right? Let me see if April gonna come back in. Let me see. Okay, let me see. But I hope everybody getting this information. There we go. Here come April.
Sorry,
we don't know what happened. I'm sorry. We're sorry.
You kicked me out. I was getting to the good part.
Somebody said, "Come back, April."
We were talking about, the whole life insurance policy. So we gave the scenario of you getting, let's say, $100,000 coverage in a whole life policy. Right. They're putting a savings account on that policy. You would be paying maybe $200 a month. So, right. If you took that same $100 though every month, Shakia, and you put that at your bank, like in your savings account, and let's say you did that for those 2 years, you went to your bank and said, hey, I want to withdraw my $2,400 that I put there. Yeah. Now, Shakia, if they told you at your bank, you put that money in there, but you are not getting that money out, we're keeping this money. How would you feel?
Oh, it's going to be some smoke.
Right.
They about to get all of them. They better call police. Everybody can get me because if my money not in there, I'm paying on this money.
Flip the bank over, right? Okay. So the same thing happens to people every day when they sign up for whole life insurance. The insurance company actually keeps that savings money for the first 2 to 5 years.
Wow.
Now, this is a savings account, right? So if you keep it past those terms or time frame, they're then going to start putting your $100 into the account. But they're only going to give you like a 1 to 4% interest or rate of return on your money.
Okay.
So those are very low rates of return. You know, if you think about that in terms of an interest rate, it's kind of like, you know, pennies on a dollar. So
Okay.
you're putting money in there to save, but it won't be accumulating or growing very fast. And then if you did keep that policy going, you know, let's say you had it out for maybe, you know, 10 or 15 years. And of course, you'll see some money in that savings, you know, that cash value, it would have grown some.
Okay.
And then Shakia, if you wanted to get your money out of that policy, you know, you say, hey, I've got maybe 10, 20,000 saved and I need that. You can get it out. But the only way you can get it out is going to be by taking it out as a loan.
Oh no, but that's my money.
It's your money, right? Why would you need to borrow your own money? Right?
Listen,
So it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's exactly what they make you do, borrow your own money. And then Shakia, on top of that, if you were to take that loan out of the account, they're going to charge you about 6 to 8% interest just to borrow your own money. Now, you know, that the math doesn't really math on that. Okay. So when you actually think about it, you know, either way, if you do have any kind of cash value policy, so that's a whole life, universal life, index universal life, variable life. These are all some names that mean the same thing. They're a cash value life insurance. You are always going to end up paying for two things, which is your life insurance and a savings, but you only are going to get to
just use one. Uh-oh. April, where you at? I don't know if it's the. See, this the devil.
Uh-oh. Can you
This the
see it
devil.
was
Look,
spinning?
I know, right? I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's the internet, but that's the devil trying to work.
Yes. Well, we're going to push through, though. Yes,
Right.
they need to know this
That's what it
information.
is.
We're going to push through. But you know, I
Yes.
was saying when you have any of those cash value policies, whole life, universal, variable life,
Uh-oh.
in the savings, but you are only going to get the benefit of one. Because if you took this loan out, let's say 10 or 15 years after having your policy, and then let's say we fast forward another 10 or 15 years and you died, they're going to actually, you know, let your family know when they go to collect your policy. Well, Shakia had 100,000 in coverage, but when she had the policy at 15 years, she took $20,000 that loan, and she didn't have that percent interest. So they will deduct the amount you borrow plus the interest for all of those years. So you could end up with maybe $5,000-$6,000 left on that policy that your family would actually get. And you told them you got 100,000 in coverage. What's that going to do to your family at that point?
Struggle bus,
right? And then on the flip side, you know, if you have that same kind of policy and then you don't ever borrow or take that money out of the savings, you know, you never take the loan out, but let's say, you know, we're at year 30 and you die. What's going to happen is that they'll give them that 100,000 because that's your death benefit, the face value. But let's say you did save 20 or 30,000 in that savings account on that life insurance policy and you never borrowed it. Guess what happens to that money? It's going back to the insurance company.
You better.
Your family would never get that money that you saved. It's going back to the insurance company. It's something that they put, you know, in the fine print. It's called a cash surrender value. And Shakia, you know what surrender means, right?
Here you go. Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're giving it up. Okay. So that's exactly what happens. You know, so that is why I tell you that those are the wrong kind of life insurance. Okay. So when you have term life insurance, it's the simple kind of life insurance. It gives you straight life insurance coverage. No frills are added onto there, like you put in additional money towards it for saving. You just get life insurance for the reason that it is in place. You get up to 30, 35-year coverage, depending upon who you actually get it with. My company does 35 years of a term policy, and that's a level premium. So that means that your coverage, the price that you pay for having that coverage, is never going to change unless you actually request to do so. If you want to increase your policy or something like that, and you have the death benefit, that is never going to change either. It is going to be more affordable as well. You can get term insurance usually half of the price that you're going to pay for whole life insurance. And then it's going to be something that you can just continue on. If you outlive your term, you're going to have some options, or you can actually continue your coverage at that time. Okay. So term life is just straightforward coverage. It's just like when you get your car insurance, right?
Right.
So when you have your car insurance, is there a savings account on that car insurance policy?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't want it.
It's like health insurance, right? Is there a savings account on your health insurance?
No.
No. And then, why would you think you need a savings account on your life insurance? It doesn't make sense, right?
Exactly.
So they do sell those kind of policies, and they make it sound attractive. People do think that it's kind of like them saving and investing in a way, but it's not a savings or an investment, right? No. Those are kind of a ripoff to our people and our clients. So I do not sell those cash value policies. I get term insurance in place for my clients, and then also I'm a licensed investment agent. So I show them, how to use any additional money that they would be spending towards getting a cash value policy, and show them how to invest.
Uh-oh. The devil busy on this live. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. But this is good information. Hopefully April can hear me. Oh, no.
I'm back.
Okay.
They keep going out on us for some reason, but we're still here.
Okay. Cool. So what about
had our question and asked about accidental?
Yeah.
So that's something that you'll probably be offered, like at your bank. Your car insurance company might say, hey, we got some accidental life insurance coverage. You want to sign up for it? I always advise against it, because it may be cheap, but literally for accidental, what they're calling is an accidental death and dismemberment policy. AD&D for short. And it's in the name, and it tells you exactly what it's for. You would literally have to die by some form of accident, like a car accident, or maybe a bus or train or plane, or you be dismembered, meaning that you actually have to lose a limb, an arm, before those policies would pay out. So if you have an accidental death policy and you passed away, let's say from natural causes, then that policy is not going to pay out to your family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it literally is only if you died in an accident or you got dismembered, then you would actually be benefiting from that policy. So with a term life insurance policy, it covers all of those bases. So you don't need a separate policy for accidental death, because if you were to die by accident and you have a term policy, it's going to pay out regardless. Okay.
Oh, listen. Everybody, y'all don't get the accidental, just get regular.
Just get regular. Like term insurance, and teach you how to invest the difference,
Oh, wow. I didn't really know that. So you're educating us now. And Tony said, wow. Right. That's what I said. So don't
people think that so I actually, I heard a story recently about someone, and their grandmother or parent, they had accidental death insurance coverage for many, many, many years. And they were told that they had like $500,000 in coverage. When they passed away, the family found out that it was accidental death coverage. And that $500,000 policy was an accidental policy. They died of natural causes. So they were not able to pay out on that claim. I believe they said they gave them maybe $5,000 out of the $500,000 that they thought they had.
Jesus.
Yes. So definitely, if you have life insurance, it is very important to understand what kind of policy that you have. So I offer free policy reviews and consultations. Even if you have insurance, it's important, to know what type of policy you have, know specifically, the benefits, the pros and cons of having that kind of policy. And then also, they are built for having long term, but you should be reviewing your life insurance policy periodically as well, especially if things change in your life, like you have a baby or get married, buy a house, things like that. You always want to come back and review your life insurance to make sure that it's the best fit for your life situation at the current moment. And that it is going to be properly protecting you. So that's what I definitely practice and preach, is getting properly protected, because there's life insurance out there, but do you have the right type? Many people don't. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Like, definitely educating, because like I know a lot of people, they have accidental, and it's like,
it says it right in the name, guys. Accidental death. They're only going to pay out if you have an accidental death.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Like, that's definitely,
a lot of people don't know it though. So, I'm definitely, I'm super excited. I love, what I do, and being able to educate people, because once we know better, 9 times out of 10, we will do better. Okay. So, and again, people have good intentions when they, get these policies, but they're just not taught or given all the information to make the best decision up front. Okay. So that is, where I come in, sit with someone who's knowledgeable and who can actually explain, and I can go through and dissect that policy with you page by page and show you, what is wrong with the policy, if anything. But you definitely want to review it. Don't just sign a document and say, hey, I signed up for, $1 million in coverage, right? Because there's companies out there that offer that. They say, we give you $1 million in coverage, you don't have to take a medical exam and all of those things. But when you really get into that policy, there's always mostly some loopholes involved. Yeah. So you want to be educated about, what you actually have, if you do have some. And if you don't have any, then that's when you need to get with me to get it started. Okay.
Yes. We gotta, like, if you need it, look, you hit April up.
Yes. So I am licensed in about 12 different states. And then I have agents who work with me. I'm actually I train insurance agents, as well. And I have business partners who work in about all 50 states. I'm pretty sure wherever you're located, I have an agent who's licensed to help you guys out. So if you are needing life insurance, you can comment in the chat box, message me here. I will reach out to you directly, set up a time that we can get, your consultation done for you. So definitely love to hear about it. Even if you have insurance, you just want to make sure, or ask any questions, definitely reach out. I'll connect with you one-on-one. Anyone who reaches out, I definitely will get back to you guys, because I would love to help as many people as I can, making sure that they get the right kind of insurance in place. Another thing, people are always hesitant, we have to pay for it. It's not free, right?
Right.
But what I do tell people is that it's affordable. Getting life insurance coverage is not an astronomical expense. It normally costs less than whatever you're paying for your car insurance, literally, right? And how crazy is that? That the government, they make us get car insurance, right?
Yeah.
So you are required to protect that piece of metal, but nobody requires us to protect your flesh.
No, at all.
Literally, yeah, that means if we go out and we get into a car accident, we total the car and die, the car company is getting their money, right? Yeah. The value of that car, 30, 40, 50,000 bucks. And then if you don't have life insurance and you died in that accident, what's going to happen to your family? So it's ridiculous that we're required to do stuff like that, get car insurance, but not required to get life insurance. I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Especially in America. It's like,
especially in America, so many dangers, everywhere we look. It doesn't matter age, race, religion, everybody, is at risk out here. So we definitely have to do better job at getting that protection in place.
Yeah, definitely. You got somebody that need to talk to you. So I'm gonna put your information on.
Yes, they can either reach out here and I'll connect with them. Just messaging you directly back. If you make a comment here and say, hey, I'm interested or need insurance, I'll reach out to you directly, on your personal page, and we can go ahead and schedule a time to get together and get a consultation done.
Absolutely. And I love it. We got to educate the people. And I'm so glad that I'm tagging you in the
Okay,
post.
let me check it. Yeah, I would love to. And yes, if you tag me, then you guys will have my personal page. You can always reach out to me there as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think I did it right, but if not, I'm definitely gonna put your information.
No problem.
I'm trying to do two things at once, like no, we have to educate the people. We on this, and that's why I wanted to do this this topic, because we don't know, right? And yes. I learned some things, something new, conversing with you, and and people are asking questions, and that's what it's all about. Because if we know, then we can be able to be proactive on what we need to do, and also not leave our loved ones in a nasty spot, and you going on, and you got your family members here, and they don't know what to do. And I also encourage, because working in long-term care and as a social worker, a lot of people, they don't have policies, they don't have wills, they don't, because families, they start fighting over.
Oh yeah,
talk about the beneficiary, like who you put down, it makes the difference. Like,
oh, absolutely. So beneficiaries is a huge thing, and then for people who do have children, we wouldn't want to put a minor down as a beneficiary unless we had no other choice. But a minor as a beneficiary, they wouldn't be able to release funds to a minor. So you do want to identify, an adult that you trust, who's going to use the money for good cause, like towards helping raising your minor children. But you don't want to be able to put a minor down as your beneficiary, ideally, because they would have to still go through like court and probate before they would release funds to a minor. So essentially they have to have, an adult who's going to be a guardian of them, who's going to be able to manage that money, because of course they're minor. So that's a tip about having a beneficiary. That definitely matters. Okay. But you can have more than one beneficiary on your policy. So, you could split it up between your two sisters, or your mom and your dad, or you can have as many as you want. Really, you can do 4 people and they all get 25% of the policy. So that's something that you definitely have the say so over as well. And then, I wanted to actually throw in there as well. I know we've been talking a lot about a funeral and, passing away, but life insurance could be used without having to die as well, which is what a lot of people don't know. So be sure that you have a policy that has living benefits. Okay. And what that does is that it protects you from the event that you do get diagnosed with some kind of critical, chronic, terminal illness. If you have life insurance policy with living benefits, and let's say you got a critical diagnosis, what you're able to do with my company is take out up to 70% of that policy upon getting diagnosed with that illness. Some people use it as a life-saving benefit. You can get that money out and pay for medical treatments that might be really expensive, depending upon, what that illness is, right? So let's think about that. If we have a $100,000 life insurance policy and we got diagnosed with a critical illness, you can take 70% of that. That's $70,000 that you can go get from your life insurance policy if you get that diagnosis. So that means that you could even take care of some affairs, before you get out of here, right? If you're worried about not having to, trust your family to do what's right with the monies and all of that, right? You could actually get that money down to do whatever you need to do, upon getting that diagnosis. And again, some people use it as a life-saving benefit. So we've had cases where people are, using that money, paying for medical treatments that could actually save their lives, and they don't die. And then they still have the other 30% of their policy in place.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, like, if you don't use all the money, can you give it back? Like, hey, put this back towards
Like if you took it out, well, you would have the option. So you don't have to take all 70% of it. Yeah.
Okay.
They just allow you to take up to 70%. But
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So if that happened though, you can definitely you can work it out. Even if you didn't need to use all of that money, it's cash money though, right? So you can put it into an investment and let that money grow somewhere else alongside the remaining of your policy. There will be plenty of different options for that.
Okay. So that is the living benefit. Okay. So it's a difference. The living benefit where it's not like the whole life insurance. That's something totally different.
Yes. Now, a whole life insurance policy, they might have living benefits built in on those policies as well. But yes, so there's like an old type and a new type of life insurance too, right? There's a lot of things on life insurance, but just make sure that if you have a policy that it does have some kind of living benefits, because what we also offer, on our policies at the company that I work with is a disability rider, right? So if you become legally deemed disabled, meaning that, a legally disabled person, they're not able to work and things like that, our company actually comes in and pays for your premium if you're deemed legally disabled. So you don't pay for your life insurance and you still get to keep your policy, which is amazing.
Come on.
Yes. So we have a lot of benefits, make sure you're getting a policy that offers you more as well. So again, it goes beyond the funeral. We also do things with our coverage. If you have children under the age of 18, you can actually get all of your kids covered. So that's either if you got 1 kid, 2, 5, up to 10 kids that can be on your policy. And guess what? We only make you pay one time. So you pay one price and all of your kids get the same amount of coverage, which is amazing. Because if you were looking into getting something like a whole life policy, they make you get a separate policy for each of your kids. So you guys can all be on one policy. You pay one price for your child rider is what it's called. And then each of your kids will be covered at the same amount.
Wow. That's good information. That's good information. Yes.
Look, people are probably thinking like, man, how do I get all of this? And again, they're like, man, how much does this cost? It sounds pretty good. I want it. But again, it's very affordable. So I work with all budgets. And when we really think about, what are we putting that money into? If you get your life insurance started, let's say your premium is $50 a month. Okay. So some people might say, oh, I don't know about $50. But when we break that down, Shakia, that's only $11.66 per week. Can you afford $11.66 a week to make sure that if you die untimely, your family can get money to cover expenses and some to do what they need to do, right? You paying $60 a month. That's only $14 a week. Break it down even more. That's $2 a day. Wow. You could pay $2 per day, which is less than it costs to go to Starbucks, right? I know I'm a Starbucks girl, right? So I'm spending almost $10 in Starbucks off the top. For less than a cup of coffee every day, you can put life insurance in place, right? So, it's no excuse for us to not have life insurance because it's not expensive. So, just break it down really financially and see that it can work for you. It can work out for everybody and everyone needs coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is good information. Good information. Look, hit up April. I put her down in the I tagged her in the live. So if you need anything like insurance, any questions, like hit her up. It's cool,
contact me. I'm friendly. I love meeting with new clients, guys. But honestly, I have a crusade, and it is about life insurance and making sure that we educate people and get everybody properly protected. Again, it doesn't matter where you're located. Reach out to me anyway, and we will get someone to help you no matter where you are. Either myself or a agent that I work with, I'll give you connected with them if they are in a particular state that I'm not licensed in, but I am licensed in about 12 states. So guys, don't hesitate, reach out, and I can get licensed in more if I would like to. Okay. So
Yes.
I'm always adding new states because I do get clients from all over reaching out. And yes, it's a pretty simple process. As a licensed agent, I can get licensed in any of the 50 states out there. So if you're someone who wants to work with me, I enjoy working with people who want to work with me. And yes,
Yeah.
we can make it happen one way or another. Okay.
Oh, April, yes. So it's great. It's great. It's great. So any last words you want to say or
Yes, we can
yeah,
definitely, just remember, this whole talk and conversation is about life insurance. And just again to stress, why you need it is for your peace of mind, knowing that your loved ones are going to be cared for if you are no longer here. So
Yeah.
we don't know when that's going to come, but it's really about peace of mind, guys. Life insurance is peace of mind, and we'll
Yeah.
leave it at that.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Everybody learned very informative. Yes, all of that good stuff.
Well, thank
Yes,
you for having me. I appreciate the time.
yes,
It was
yes,
amazing.
yes, yes. Look, and Tennessee State. Look, we
Yes, yes,
went to
TSU
college.
an alumni here. Come on.
Yes, all day. Yes, freshman class of 2020, 2003.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So yeah, we met each other in college, and look how far it's 20 years this year. Like
Yes, 20
20
years.
years.
Now, don't age me, girl. I'm glad I got my life insurance in place, right? I don't need to pay this. Right, 20 years later, but yes, it'll be 20 years. I've known beautiful Shakia here, and I'm excited. Congratulations, definitely, on all of your success. Love to see growth, from my classmates and alumni. You know how we do at the Big Blue.
Big Blue all day. Think, word, serve.
Yes.
But look, everybody, you guys, inbox April. If you need anything, any questions, concerns, or you want to get a whole life insurance policy, not whole life, but insurance policy. Let me say it right. Insurance policy. Check my girl out and let her know, you're interested and you want to be educated and all that good stuff, because it is important. It's very, very important. And I wanted to educate people and let them know, hey, we need to get this, and yeah, until next time, thank you so much. And I'll see you guys on next week. Yes, on next week. We got another live on next week, but I really, really appreciate you guys, and you guys have a great and productive Sunday. All righty.
All right. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.